Over the past few years, my fiance and I have been able to accumulate nearly 2 million credit card points, and that got us over $30,000 worth of travel practically for free. We've been able to take business class flights, stay in over 20 hotels, and just working regular jobs and doing this credit card game. So in this video, I'll go through everything that we did, how you can do it too, and give you some key tips along the way to just help you travel on your own terms. And at the end of the video, I'll share with you our setup, how it works for us, and give you some insight on maybe what setup might work for you. So if you're ready, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and hit the notification bell below so you can join our growing family here on YouTube and we can live our best lives together. So now we're going to start off with the most important thing to accumulate a lot of points. And that's sign-up bonuses. This is by far the best and the fastest way to get a bunch of points. And with two people, your player two, it's even better. So for those of you that don't know, what is a sign-up bonus? So card issuers give you a sign-up bonus to incentivize you to sign up for their card. And it gives you a certain amount of points for a certain amount of spend in usually 3 to 6 months. And so what do I mean by outsized return? So for example, when I got my Chase Sapphire Preferred, that was a 100,000 point sign-up bonus for spending $4,000 in 3 months. So for just spending $4,000, I got 100,000 points. But say if you wanted to spend your way on the Chase Sapphire Preferred to 100,000 points. If you take just dining, which gives you 3 times points on your spend on dining, you would need to spend $33,333.33 over the year for you to get 100,000 points. So that's why you can see that disparity of, for the sign-up bonus, just $4,000. But if you actually try to spend your way to that, through your regular everyday spend, it just takes you that much more money and time for you to accumulate that many points. So out of the almost 2 million points that we were able to accumulate, 1.6 million of those points came from sign-up bonuses. It's a good percentage. That's how important it is for you to get the sign-up bonuses. And that's why it's great to have that second person, because you get one, they get one. And just a couple of tips on this: don't make your other person an authorized user. Sometimes that limits their ability for them to get sign-up bonuses in the future. And depending on how quickly you want to accumulate these points, just as a data point for you all, in 2022, I actually signed up and got approved for 12 different credit cards. Granted, 5 of them were business credit cards, but 7 of them were what I got in 1 year. Especially if you're going to apply for a loan and do different things, I wouldn't suggest that frequency because it does ding your credit report temporarily, but I'm just letting you know that that is what I did to accumulate a bunch of points, especially in 1 year. And if you're trying to do that fast, that's one way. And along the lines of sign-up bonuses, the perk about having a player two is you can refer cards that you got to them, and you can get referral bonuses. So it's like that cherry on top of your sign-up bonus that gives you extra points because you referred somebody to that card. And because it's somebody that you're going to travel with, that's just points right back into your own pocket. Usually that's somewhere between 10 to 15,000 points that you wouldn't have had if you weren't referring people. And if you don't have a player two and you just want to share the love with this channel and support me, there's some referral links in the links down below if you wanted to check those out. But the thing about referrals is that somebody has to start first. Somebody has to get the card first in order to refer that other person to that card. So just keep that in mind when you're starting to plan this game together. You might want to stagger your cards or your applications just so that you're strategic with how you get your referral bonuses. Not all cards give referral bonuses, so just double check that before you take a look at it. And so tip number 3, I would suggest, if you're starting this journey from scratch, to start with Chase. In general, what you want to do first with all of these credit cards is you want to be able to get the flexible points. So that's with banks that you can transfer to travel partners. So banks like Chase, American Express, Citi, and Capital One can transfer their points to different places like airlines, hotels, etc. Whereas if you get like an airline card, you can only get points and miles in that specific airline. So there's not as much versatility with your points. So you want to be starting with some kind of bank that gives you that versatility to transfer all over the place. And I think Chase is the best one to start with. But reason number 1 is their rule about 524 is that you cannot have 5 cards in the past 24 months, which is not a problem for most people, but if you really want to dive into this game with me, it can be an issue. Other cards like American Express don't have this rule. That's why you can always get those cards on the back end. And maybe you don't even like this travel game, so you just stick with Chase, right? And for me, it would start with the 2 free Chase cards, the Chase Freedom Unlimited and the Chase Freedom Flex. Then rolling into one of the Chase Sapphire cards, either the Preferred or Reserve, depending on how you want to travel. The Reserve gives you a little bit more luxury benefits, the Preferred just gets you access into that portal so that you can transfer your Chase Ultimate Rewards points to those partners. From there, I think hotel cards make a lot of sense. The World of Hyatt card, or even the Marriott Bonvoy Boundless card that you can then upgrade later to the Ritz-Carlton card. And that would give you 5 solid cards that would give you a lot of points and give you some hotel free night stays. And if you both get all those cards together, then that would give you 4 free nights. Plus a lot of flexible Chase points that you can transfer to airlines or even to Hyatt to have some pretty good hotel value. And then speaking of hotels, tip number 4, I think especially with player 2 mode, I think you'll get a lot, if not most of your value from hotels. Why? Assuming that you're gonna stay with that person. Whether you buy a hotel for yourself or as a duo, you're paying the same amount of points. Whereas if you apply it to flights, it's not like you can share a seat. You still have to pay the same amount of points when you book flights. Whereas when you share a room, whether it's you or 2 people, it's the same rate. And when you and your significant other have free hotel nights, you have 1 night, they have 1 night, 2 free nights. So by just having a couple of cards, I mean, that's a whole week of stays that you're getting for pretty good value. And then with these hotel cards, if you have status or you get upgraded, say you have kids later on, getting upgraded to that suite might really help with space. So that's why for us, like we've stayed at 20 different hotels over the past few years, but in comparison, we've only taken about 4 to 5 different flights of that, business class caliber. It's just because your miles just go so much further with hotels because you can share the room. So tip number 5, figuring out how you spend in order to strategize with your cards. So you want to get the proper multipliers depending on what you spend the most money on. So if groceries is your biggest spend or food is your biggest spend, something like the American Express Gold might make a lot of sense for you. Or even any of the Chase cards that give you 3x back on dining, like the Preferred or any of the unlimited cards. So once you get all of your different sign-up bonuses, the only way for you to accumulate a bunch of points now is just to maximize your multipliers on your everyday spend. So when you have the card like the Freedom Unlimited, your bottom should be a 1.5 back on everything that you spend. Or if you go for something like the City Double Cash, 2x back on everything that you spend. So take a month or 2 and kind of look at your spending, see what you spend the most on, and then curate your card setup to match what that spending is. And that's why for me, I really like the Gold card because it gives me that 4x back on dining, which is one of my biggest expenses. But for my fiance, because I usually pay for all the food, her spend is on other things. So the Chase Freedom Unlimited is more of her go-to card to make sure that she captures everything with that 1.5 back. So just take a look at your habits and figure out how to maximize those multipliers. So we've gone over the sign-up bonuses, the referrals, maximizing your multipliers. So what are some examples? So for us, we just booked the Hawaiian Airlines first class, which is essentially a business class flight from Honolulu to Tokyo. That flight usually runs about $2,600. However, we were able to find award availability, or basically a cheaper points rate for this business class flight for 65,000 Hawaiian Airlines miles. So in this example, this is a 4 cents per point redemption. I'm getting a $2,600 flight for 65,000 points, which could be cashed out if I really wanted to for $650. So that ratio is what you want to be at for about 2 cents per point or more if you're going for luxury travel. And for me, for a 10-hour flight, I would trade 65,000 points to lie down any day. Or on the hotel scene, one of my favorite and one of my most interesting redemptions was when we went to Chicago and went to the St. Regis. So on this one, I used my Marriott free night there. And with the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant, it's a $650 annual fee. They give you a $300 restaurant credit and the free night. So essentially, my free night has to be at least $350 worth of value in order for me to break even on the card. Just a standard night at the St. Regis in Chicago can run to about $800. So already right there, I got some value out of that card. But what was even more exciting was that because I had platinum status, they upgraded me to one of their suites. And that suite would run somewhere from $1,800 to over $2,000 a night. So again, with just this one credit card that I just got a free night that I was just hoping to get a $350 night value, I ended up staying in a hotel that was worth over $2,000 a night. So that's really good outsized value. Again, I'm getting this premium experience, but I'm only expecting and dealing with something that I would normally pay $300 a night for. So those are the kinds of things that you can do together to get great value out of your credit card points and miles. So how do we do this? What is our setup? So I'll list all of our 20 something credit cards down below, but I'll just highlight some key points. So as you can tell probably from looking below, I have most of the credit cards. I have a bunch of the different issuers between Chase, Citi and American Express. Haven't gotten into Capital One yet. And my fiance is getting into the game with Chase. She personally is not as jazzed about having like 20 credit cards for whatever reason. But again, that's just what works for us. If both of you are really excited to get all of these credit cards, shoot, like again, the value is in the sign-up bonuses. So if you have somebody that wants to also get 20 credit cards, that's more points to you. In our setup for hotel cards, we have 2 World of Hyatt cards because that gives us 2 free nights at Hyatt for $95 a piece. We have 2 Chase Sapphire Preferreds. One of them we may downgrade because technically you can transfer points between people's different accounts. There's no need to have 2 preferreds, but you know, maybe if things don't work out or something like that, right? Like you want to hold on to that preferred. But if you're confident that this is going to be in for the long run, yeah, you can pull your points together, save on that annual fee, downgrade that preferred to a free Freedom card. We have multiple Freedoms and that's, you know, it's a free card. So you just get the sign-up bonus, keep that card open forever. And one interesting card that you might see is we both have the Hawaiian Airlines card. I had mine from way back in the day, like 9 to 10 years ago. I don't even know what my sign-up bonus was for that. But my fiance just got hers because of that Hawaiian Airlines Alaska merger. In my head, I was thinking, try to get this card now while that bonus is still available, and then we'll see what happens when Alaska merges with Hawaiian, and hopefully our points are still good. We also live in Hawaii, so Hawaiian Airlines is a big airline here. We do fly out of it a lot, so it makes sense for us to have that branded airline card for our most popular airline. I would say in most situations, unless you have that airline that you always go to, branded airline cards are not exactly the way to go. It's better for you to stick with the bank cards. For us, we only have 1 premium travel card because I'm the one that usually travels for work if I'm going by myself. My fiance will only come if she's with me, and then I can get usually the complimentary lounge access, whether it's through the Delta Lounge, anything like that. It's not worth it to her specifically to get a premium card for herself, but that's what works for us in the moment. So my advice to you is to first figure out what kind of travel experience makes sense for the both of you. Are you trying to go for getting those luxury experiences like us? Or are you more concerned about just getting a lot of different experiences, maybe just an economy? Nothing wrong with either situation, it's just what matters most to you. Then you can tailor your plan to that goal. I would say if you're trying to get the luxury perks similar to us, I think it makes a lot of sense for you to stay in that Chase realm, but also upgrade to the American Express realm. I do think that the Platinum card brings that luxury twang to it, and I really like it. So you can live in both of those realms. And maybe if you're just thinking about just getting a bunch of different flights, or maybe you don't want to manage multiple cards, I think for most people, sticking with the Chase ecosystem will do more than enough for you. You can get a bunch of sign-up bonuses, some free nights. You're only dealing in one banking system, but because the points are transferable, you can experience a lot of different things. And I think Chase's ability to transfer to Hyatt gives you the most value for your points when it comes to hotels. And the last thing that I want to mention here is my fiance and I, we still have a lot of points that we still haven't used yet. So that's why you don't need to have this many cards to have some of these experiences that we've already had. All you gotta do is get started. I hope this video gave you a little bit of a clearer picture of how you and your significant other or friend or whoever you travel with can achieve your travel goals in 2025 and beyond. If you have any questions about anything that I talked about, please comment below and I'll do my best to reply to you. I really do love talking about this stuff and helping you out. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and hit the notification bell below so you can join our growing family here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time and I'll see you on the next video.